talks about. Everybody wants to, but they have so much to say. The world has so much to say, but nobody is talking about this exact thing that we are going to be talking about on here today. So, before we move forward, make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. So, those who don't know me, my name is Queen A. I am the Clarity Coach. I help individuals just like you overcome self doubt and build your confidence with clarity. And today is a great episode that because we are going to be talking about something that nobody is talking about, and that is about how entrepreneurs they don't fail because they lack ambition. I want y'all to think about that now. With all the technology that's coming out, with all these new adventures that we have out here, new entrepreneurs are not failing because of the lack of ambition. We have somebody coming out with a new product every single day. Matter of fact, not just every day, every second. Think about that for a second. There is a new entrepreneur coming out with something every second. So they have ambition, you know, and then not to mention around this time of year, everybody's ambitious. Everybody's think about it. They're ready to go to the gym. They're ready to take on their new goals, and they've been ready to do so much. So we know if you think about it in that term, that entrepreneurs, especially new entrepreneurs, right? They're not failing because of a lack of ambition. Like I said, I'm talking about, I've even sat there and watched videos of 3 year olds. They're playing games or like with the Barbies and stuff, and kids are watching them, right? Kids are watching them. So we know that new entrepreneurs is not failing because of a lack of ambition. But you want to know why they are failing? Let me know if you want to know why they are failing. I'm going to tell you because I know y'all want to know why new entrepreneurs is failing. Or maybe you're a new entrepreneur. I don't know. But if that's you, you like, you know what, Queen A, just let me know what it is. Because I've been the one that's having so much ambition. Or maybe you know somebody that just has so much ambition and they're always so excited. But they just keep seeming to, fail over and over and over again because it's the lack of or ignoring their health while they're chasing momentum. Think about that for a second. It's the lack of not paying attention to your health while you are chasing momentum. So, like I said, new entrepreneurs, they're always so ambitious. Hey, Jaden Harrington, how you doing, sweetie? It's nice to have you here. Let me know where you are from. So I'm in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. I don't know where y'all from, but let me know where y'all from because I love to, see who's all watching me, right? So we know that people are not failing because of lack of ambition. But what people are failing for, new entrepreneurs especially, is because they're ignoring their health while they're chasing the momentum. They're not paying attention to their bodies, meaning physically and mentally. Nobody seems to be paying attention to that. Think about that. People is ignoring their health. And that's not saying that people, you're like, oh, you know what, Queen A, they just don't know what to do. Please kill me with it. People kill me with it, right? We know people know what to do. Why? Because we just had New Year's goals. How many people told you what they was gonna be doing, right? You know what? I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna get that new account or whatever it's gonna be. I'm gonna start eating healthy, right? I'm gonna go on this diet. I ain't drinking no pop or whatever that may have been. But as time goes on, people get comfortable and they start ignoring what? The same thing they said they was going to pay attention to. They start ignoring the gym. They start ignoring the fact that they need to eat better. They start ignoring the signs that their body is breaking down. They start ignoring all these signs. Hey, thank you. Hi. So Juke Show Toby, hey. Jaden here from the UK. Hey, UK in the house. And I see you, Laura Harrington. How you doing, sweetie? So, but I want you all to understand that this is what's happening right here. People are ignoring their health decisions, why they're chasing, excitement, and why they're, oh my gosh, I'm ready to create this new product. But they're ignoring the fact that their back is hurting every day. Or maybe they're ignoring the fact that they're getting constant headaches. Or maybe they're ignoring the fact that they're constantly depressed or aggravated. Or they're ignoring the fact that they're constantly picking up weight. Or maybe you're ignoring the fact that you're dropping weight too fast. But either way, people are failing because, especially new entrepreneurs, because they're constantly excited, but they're not excited in the right areas. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Because a lot of people are hustlers. It's a difference. There's a big difference between a hustler and an entrepreneurial mindset. And we see a lot of hustlers out here. Hint, ambition, meaning we see a lot of people out here. That's what they say, they're getting to the bag. How many of y'all have heard that? That people say they're getting to the bag. I've heard it. If you haven't heard it, then I would be very surprised. But if you have heard somebody say they're getting to the bag, put bag in the chat if you've heard that. Because I know I've heard somebody say they're getting to the bag. I hear it all the time, especially on posts now. How many times you heard somebody say, you know what, I'm about to get to that apple. I'm about to get to that apple. I'm about to get to the gym, right? We don't hear that continuously. We only hear that when people are what? Ambitious. But that's not what takes us. So I want you to understand that the hustle cultures, it just teaches you how to grind. It teaches you how to be on the go, constantly on the go, over and over. And if you think being on the grind is a good thing, but y'all like Queen A, being on the grind is a good thing. I want you to think about the hamster wheel. Think about a hamster on a wheel for a second, right? I'm gonna drink me a water. Think about that. Just picture that. How many of y'all pictures a hamster wheel? Did anybody picture a hamster wheel, by the way? Now, the hamster that's on the wheel, isn't he ambitious? I mean, he's constantly going, right? He's ready to get to where he's got to go. So he's very ambitious. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna get that, right? I'm about to get to where it is. I gotta go. But now think about this for a second, right? He has, what don't he have? So, a hamster is they're very ambitious. They hustle too, but they don't have no sustainability. That's why they don't know when to stop, right? That's why they don't understand that if they get on the wheel, guess what? I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm just gonna keep going and going. And that's the same way new entrepreneurs' minds think, right? They just want to learn everything they gotta learn at one time. Like new entrepreneurs, this is why most of you fail. And if you are a new entrepreneur, please listen to this, especially right now, okay? New entrepreneurs, they want to do this. They want to learn everything at one time. So they'll go on YouTube and they'll watch a million YouTube videos. And then they'll go and sign up for webinars and join a million webinars. And then they'll talk to a million people and get a million different people advice. When, let me tell y'all something for those who don't know. Everybody teaches different as much as everybody learns different, okay? So think about that for a second. If you're asking a million people, right, or you're getting trained by a million people, and them, let's just say 5 people, let's just narrow it down to 5. If you was to join 5 webinars today, and let's just say they're clarity coaches like Queen A, let's just say they're coaches like Queen A, right? And you join all of our webinars. Do you think that all of us will be having the same teaching style and that we all will have the same things, like exactly to the T? No. Some people are going to tell you to do this way. Some people might tell you the AMs are better. Some people might tell you the PMs is better. Some people might tell you do it the way you want to do it. But everybody is different. So what entrepreneurs don't have is that sustainability, and they don't realize that, you know, I need to have a guide. I need to start here. So if I'm just be an entrepreneur, right? And I'm not saying where to start because I don't teach, people how to become entrepreneurs, right? I teach about clarity, but I'm just saying you have to begin somewhere. And so, and that's just like with me, right? I want to be a clarity coach. So what I have to say, okay, well, how do I even start? Do I start with speaking? Do I start by talking to somebody? Do I actually start by training in one specific area? Or do I train in 3 areas? It's a reason for that. And it's a reason why you go in classes, even in school. It's a reason why you have one class at a time, right? You have one class at a time because they couldn't teach you 3 at the same time. Could you imagine sitting in class and they was teaching, one teacher is teaching math right here, one teacher is teaching English, and the other one's teaching science over there. There's no sustainability, right? That would be a hustler mindset right there, pushing it into you, but there's no direction. You don't know where to look. So that's how, new entrepreneurs mindset work, right? And so a hustler, most of them, since they don't have no sustainability, what do that lead to? Most of the time, it leads to sleepless nights. Sleepless nights. A lot of our new entrepreneurs, they think that, you know what? I'm just going to stay up all night. I don't need no rest. You ever heard somebody say, I'll sleep when I die? You have some people that really do say and think that, I'll just rest when I die. Like, as long as I'm here, I don't need no rest. But that's a new entrepreneurial mindset because the top 1%, what they understand is that rest is your biggest asset, right? Because you know what restless nights, do you know what that causes? Do you know what restless nights cause? It causes you to not have any clarity, right? So now you end up having messed up decisions. You make decisions that you normally wouldn't make as a new entrepreneur because you ain't had no rest. So now, guess what? Agitated. I couldn't even say it. See, I was agitated, but now you agitated because you ain't had no sleep because you've been on the go. You've been trying to learn everything on YouTube, join every training, and do everything you got to do. You've been on go, 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 hustle mode. And so you ain't had no rest. And so now you're not thinking clearly at all. And if you're not thinking clearly, guess what that means? Your emotions are all over the place. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what ethnic background you have. These rules apply. I could tell you now, if you don't have, right, any rest, if you like just making that a habit, you're not making decisions that you could be making better. You could be making better decisions if you had rest. Your decisions, they're not clear. Some people might think, you know what, I make the best decisions when I stay up. Try taking a rest. Try going to sleep and waking up and see if you would make that same decision. I challenge you on that. I would really challenge you on that. Like, start making it a habit of going to sleep and see how differently you think. See how much clearer. Just see how, you know, how much you take off your mind when you get rest. See how much, stress free you are. Like, right? You're not agitated at every decision. But I want you to see this because if your emotions are all over the place, then guess what that brings you to next? Not having no clarity. Oh, and we can't have you not have no clarity. We know we need you to have clarity, right? Which is having clarity is what? Being able to interpret what somebody say, right? Perceive it and then do or act on whatever was, displayed to you or said to you or taught to you. So if you can't take what somebody say and understand it enough to be able to display or act upon what they said, then there's no clarity there. And see, a lot of us, we don't have no clarity because of the action word. But that's because we got to get through these right here. A lot of y'all having sleepless nights, and y'all got to cut that out because y'all need clarity, all right? Because a lot of people don't understand, especially new entrepreneurs, you don't understand that the body and your business is connected. They're connected. They're not separate. The body is not over here and your business is over here. They're not. And I can tell you now, coming from somebody who actually had them separate. Like, I'm like, okay, well, my body can move the way it wants to, and my business will move the way, it's gonna move the way I want it to move too. But it don't work like that, guys. If you one of the people that think that your body, and your business is separate, let me know in the comments. I really want to know if you think that. Because there's no difference. Your body, or if you one of the people that know that your body and your business is one. And I'm about to explain to you why, right? Think about this for a second. If for most people that say their body and their business is separate, how can your business move if you don't move? I mean, I'm even talking about down to getting the LLC. You have to apply for the LLC, right? Think about that. Does the business apply? You might say, well, who's applying for the business? Who? I don't know. People tend to think a business is like a building. A business is not a building. A business is not. That's not what it is, right? So y'all have to understand what corporations is and things of this nature is. It's not it doesn't necessarily have to be something you can see. So who starts it before you can physically see the building? So if you started, so now let's go back, right? Because we talking about how the business and the body is connected. So if you have to do it, meaning a physical person have to do it, like, the business can't apply for the LLC itself, or can it? It's like, no, I'm just kidding. No, but no, think about that for a second. A business can't apply for an LLC itself. It cannot, and it will not. It can't. That's impossible. And for those of you that think that a business can apply for an LLC by itself, I would challenge you. And some of you might say, well, Queen, now AI can do it. Okay. I hear you. I got to ask you this. Who created AI? Did AI create itself? Think about that for a second. Did AI create itself, or I'm just asking, did a body have to create AI, or did AI did it just come out like, you know what, I'm here. Hey, let's party. I'm here. Y'all ain't getting rid of me. It's like, right? That ain't the way AI worked. It took a physical body, a person, okay, to go and what? Do all the things. Even making a business, from LLC to getting everything set up and getting the whole organization set up. Okay, because there's a lot that go into that, and I'm not that's not my specialty. But everything that took for that, it takes a physical person to do that before AI was even here. So for those of you that say, well, AI can do that now, but, and I would challenge you, okay, even if you wanted AI to do that for your business now, you say, well, AI can write that for me. Well, is AI just gonna just do it itself, or do you have to literally prompt AI to create it for you? Think about that for a second. It takes a body. So the body and the business is not separate. The body and the business is one. Okay. And that's one thing I want you to understand. Now, I want you to understand this too, that your nervous system is part of your operating system. Nothing runs if your nervous system is down. What I mean, let me say this. Nothing on your business can run correctly if your nervous system is not operating correctly. So if your nervous system is not operating correctly, meaning your emotions is all over the place, right? You jumping, you're doing this, you just, right? Then guess what? How can you structure anything? How can you make conscious decisions that you need clarity on? You can't if your emotions is all over the place. If your nervous system is not operating correctly, new entrepreneurs, hear me out. If it's not operating correctly, then guess what? Your business is not going to operate correctly. You can't even if some of you may say, well, Queen A, that's why I got employees for that. Well, as things progress, how can you properly make sure that your employees are even doing their job correctly if your nervous system is not operating correctly, meaning you're not operating correctly and you're all over the place? You can't. You're just going with the flow and whatever they tell you. Right? If I'm right, just tell me. Somebody let me know if if they feel they're getting a little clarity here. Because a lot of, new entrepreneurs, and this just goes for your business and your personal life, loves. Let me say this. This goes for your business and your personal life. I can't stress that enough. So if you ain't got one in order, the next one ain't. So if your nervous system is off, your operating system is going to be off. Period. I'm just saying. And when your health is off, what's off? Your focus is off. You can't focus on nothing. Remember we just said what? You're all over the place when your health is off. So, your focus is off. And guess what else? Your patience starts disappearing. Because if you can't focus, you have no patience. Think about when, the phone rings and then somebody, I'm sorry, I got some of my eye. The phone rings and then somebody calls your name and somebody walks in and this is due and that is due, right? What happens? Your focus gets off. You're all over the place. You're like, oh my gosh, you can't focus. Somebody starts calling you, doing this. I'm probably something in my eye. It's driving me crazy. But you're all over the place and you can't focus. So I want y'all to understand that when your health is off because your nervous system is not operating correctly, right? Or your body is separate from the business, I want you to understand that means your health is off. Look up the definition of health. Health is to be physically and mentally free from illness. So if your mental is not free from illness, look up the definition of illness, okay? So if your mental is not free from these things, that means that you can't operate properly. You can't be patient. You ain't making clear decisions, and you're not confident. You like, how can you be confident? You can't. If you all over the place, your decisions all over the place, how can you be confident in the decisions you making? You can't. You can't. And if that happens, then guess what? Your clarity, it starts leaving. It just starts seeping out. It starts creeping out like, I'm gone. You see, I was doing that creeping out. That's how your clarity be. When all them things start crumbling down and tumbling, clarity starts tumbling right with it. Just want you to understand. So now let's talk about common new entrepreneur beliefs. So the first one is, I'll rest after I get to the bag. That is a new belief that most people think, but that is a myth. So if you are a new entrepreneur or anybody for that fact, you feel like you can rest when you get to the bag. I want you to understand this. Or if you got a new job, or I don't care what you feel like you get to the bag in, and you feel like you can rest afterward. Understand this and hear me clear when I say this. If you don't rest now, your body will force you to rest, or you'll be all over the place. Remember how we just talked about if you don't rest, you don't have no clarity because your decisions are foggy, your emotions are all over the place, so you can't have no clarity there. So if you don't have no clarity, that means you can't win. I'm telling you now, the people that win, especially when you're talking about the ones that win one time, the people that continuously win in life because they have clarity on how things operate. They have clarity on where things are going. Them are the people that continuously win in life, whether you understand it or not. That's not for you to understand, it's for them to understand, right? Especially if they're the ones doing it. It's for you to understand if that's what you want to do. All right. The next one is, this is just a season. So many people think that, oh, you know what? This is just the season. This is just a season right now. Well, newsflash, let me tell you something. If you one of them people that feel like, this is just a season, it's always a season. What do you mean this is just a season? Right? I'm confused. How can this just be a season when you're always in a season. So what season is it? Is it fall, winter, summer, spring? I mean, let me know. Because it's always a season. It's not just a season. So the question is, ask yourself, if it's just a season, what season are you in? Are you in the season of depression? Are you in the season of aggravation? Are you in the season of, being happy? What are you in the season of? Are you in the season of growing? Are you in the season of harvesting what you planted? Like, cause yes, but it's always a season. It's not just a season. It's always a season. But find out what season you're in. What season? So that's, that new entrepreneur mindset. Oh, you know what? It's just a season. No, it's always a season, sweetie. Which one is it for you right now? Because you're either, leaving a storm, in the middle of a storm, or you're headed to a storm. So, no. Or if you want to do it by seasons, you're either in winter, going into summer and spring, but you're in one of them. It just rotates. Okay, you can't stay there forever. So even like if you're in the winter season, guess what? You have to switch to summer. It's not going to stay there forever. Just say it. All right. So that's a common new entrepreneur belief as well. The next one is, I don't have time to slow down. You have time for what you make time for. Yeah, you have to create time. Because see, people will say, I don't have time to slow down, but they have time to watch their favorite TV shows. They have time to listen to music in the car all the time. I'm not saying don't listen to it sometimes, but I'm saying sometimes maybe you can turn on a documentary, audio, right? Book or something that can, help stimulate your mind and get you to where maybe it's an audio book on finances, an audio book on mindset, an audio book on anything. Right? You got lunches at work, you take a lunch break. What can you do in that time? See, a lot of entrepreneurs say they don't have time. What can you do on your lunch break? Can you create a post? Can you make, I'm confused. Can you get your LLC filed for it? Or like, you have to make the time. Because you saying you don't have time to slow down, it's like saying, well, I ain't got time to build my business, or I ain't got time to help my family out, or I don't have time. Like, what are you making time for? Because you making time to make somebody else family happy if you want to work every day. You making time for that. Yeah, if you're working a 9 to 5, I don't care. I work 9 to 5. I love my 9 to 5ers. I don't even care if you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. You make time for what you want to make time for. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you make time for your clients, right? So make time for your family. Saying, make time. So, or even if it's the shoe on the other foot, if you always making time for your family, make time for your business as well. It go both ways. Both ways. Okay? Because I want y'all to understand, them beliefs right there is not building empires. They not. Them beliefs right there is why you tired all the time, why you exhausted, why you depressed, why your brain foggy over and over and over again. Them belief systems right there. We ain't talking about the other. We talking about these right here. Them. Okay? So that's the real thing to pay attention to, because the real issue is that you don't need motivation. Y'all know how if people were just like, I need more motivation. Motivation is everywhere. You can get motivation from anywhere. Go to YouTube, go to TikTok, go to Facebook, go to Instagram. I don't care. Pick a platform. Right? You can subscribe to Queen A. I would love for you to do that, by the way. Hey. But you can get motivation and inspiration from anywhere. That's what I'm saying, guys. But what I'm telling you to do for this right here, even Queen A can't do. Because you need clarity. You know what I mean? You need clarity around how you are moving. And only you can do that. So I can teach you that. Now, let me say this again. I can teach you that. I can teach you all the steps. But you have to still what? Take action in order for you to even understand clarity around how you moving. Because I can, like, you can join my free webinar, you can join my Clarity Mastermind Starter Kit, right? You can get access to my 10-minute strategy. You can read my book. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. I can teach you that. You can even watch this video and learn about some clarity. But if you get off this video and you don't take action on nothing I said, you still separating the business, from your body. You still think it's separate. You still like, you know what? I ain't listening to Queen A. I'll rest when I die. Like, I ain't got time to rest right now. If you think you don't got time to rest, you ain't gonna ever build an empire. You ain't ready. You're not. You're not ready to be a coach. You're not ready to be an empire builder. And even if you're working a 9 to 5, you ain't ready to be the boss. It don't matter. You ain't ready to be the top 1%. That's what I'm saying. Because the top 1% understand they need rest. They need rest. Trust me. So you got to understand that it's not that you need more motivation. You can get motivation from anywhere. You need more clarity. Yes, you do. You do. But only you can take the action steps to do that. I can teach you that, but you have to take the action steps. Only you. Right? I'm not gonna be there like, you know what? Take your hand, do this. No, I can only teach it to you. I'm not gonna be there like, you know what, your phone over there, let me take your phone and put it over. No, you have to want these things. And that's why a lot of new entrepreneurs fail. And that's why most relationships fail. And that's why most relationships fail. Why? Because people don't actually want to put in the work that it takes to build them things. I'm just saying, if y'all agree with me, drop it in the comments or not. But it's the truth. I'm telling you. All right. So y'all got to understand that when you start focusing on your health, like really start focusing on your health. And this what, new entrepreneurs do not understand. When you start focusing on your health, and I want y'all to understand, pay attention, write this down if you're listening. You got to start creating boundaries. Think about it. So people think when I'm talking about health and I say create boundaries, this is what most people picture, right? They picture an apple. Oh, you know what? The apple over the chip. Yes, that's one boundary you have to set when it comes to health. We all know that one, right? Do I grab the apple? Do I grab the chip? No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Like, right? You need boundaries on, okay, who am I putting in my environment? What am I watching? What am I allowing to, be in my space, in my mind? What's, when am I covering my cutout? So make sure I'm getting some rest, right? How much, what's the least amount of rest I'm let myself have? But we need boundaries. That's what health is. But especially, a lot of new entrepreneurs don't think they need them boundaries. They don't think they need it, when do I go to sleep? When do I get up? When do I go here? When do I go there? You need boundaries, or they don't think they need a boundary. Who do I talk to? Like, right? This is my sister. Even though she calls me all the time, she's always depressed, aggravated, and stressed. I need to pick up the phone for her every time, even though I'm doing something that I need to do and I need to focus on right now. Maybe then you put in a boundary where you let your sister know, hey, sis, you know what? I love talking to you daily, but during these hours, I want to be focused right now. Set the boundary. And then, let her know, like, so if you call during them times, I'm going to assume that it's an emergency, right? I'm going to assume it's an emergency. That way they won't call during them hours. And let everybody understand that, hey, during these hours, these are my business hours. These is personal hours. But we have to set boundaries, or hey, this is when I go to sleep. This is when I get up. Okay. So that's what it includes. Okay. And the next thing it includes is you got to be able to make decisions under pressure. Why do I say that? Because you're going to be up under pressure, especially when we're talking about health, mental health decisions. You're going to be up under pressure. You're going to have to decide quickly when the phone ring. Do I answer it or not for this person? Do they really got something to say? Is they always calling and just talking about nothing? You're going to have to make that decision right then and there. So you have to understand that you're going to have to execute your decisions very quickly. All right. It comes with that when you setting boundaries for yourself, especially when you're talking about health. Even when it comes physically, you still have to set boundaries for that, right? If you want to, improve your health, well, set boundaries. Okay, well, during this time, I got to go work out. I don't do no less than this amount. Maybe it's 10 push-ups, 2 push-ups. I don't know, right? I don't know what your boundary is. Maybe it's 20, 50, 100. I don't know, but you have to set boundaries. So I ain't gonna do no less than 10 today a day, right? So like for me, for my boundary when it comes to health, especially in the physical area, right? Sunday through Thursday, I have to work out. One day is leg day, arm day, cardio and full body day, and it flips, right? But Sunday through Thursday, I'm working out. Now that's something I like to say because that's something I hated to do when I first started, but now I'm getting used to it because I created boundaries around it to where even my household knows, okay, well, mom's working out right now. Mom's doing this right now. Okay, mom, let me not bother you right now. You're doing this. So we have to create boundaries, okay? And one of the things you got to understand, this is the biggest one right here, is knowing when to push or pause. So we talked about you got to make your boundaries fast, but you got to know when to push it or when to pause it, meaning when to move forward or when to stall, meaning back off and stand still. Let it go. You got to be able to distinguish them things, right? Do I move forward on this business decision, or is this partner not good for me? Should I pause on that and not join this partnership, right? We have to understand and know these things as a new entrepreneur, especially, right? When am I saying too much? When do I need to not say too much, right? When do I speak up or when am I out here just to listen? But we have to understand the push and pause, or should I say, stop and go. Understand when to stop and understand when to go. Because new entrepreneurs think they have to, accept every deal coming their way and they have to join every partnership coming their way. And how do I know these things, guys? How do I know these things? Because I was a new entrepreneur, duh. I was a new entrepreneur. So I was everything I talked about, I went through. And the principles I teach helped me come up out of it. And that's why I became a clarity coach. After having a gun put to my head on 4 different occasions, that's what a lot of people don't know. I had a gun put on my head on 4 different occasions. So it was times where I can say that I had no boundaries for real when it came to my health mentally. Why? I was allowing people access to me who I should not have allowed access to me over and over and over again. But I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. I don't. So if you building something new and you feeling overwhelmed, and it don't matter who you is, right? It don't matter what you building. I don't care. It don't matter where you at. If you building something new and you feeling overwhelmed and you just like, I'm drained out, I'm all over the place. You feel like you got too many doors open in your head. Think about that for a second. Too many doors open in your head. Too many. Then guess what? you ain't you ain't failed. You're not a failure. You ain't failed. You got too many doors open. That's just a clarity gap. That's all that is. You ain't failed. A lot of people may feel like they failed, but they didn't fail. That's just a clarity gap. And we want to help you close that gap. All right. I'm gonna help you close that gap. That's what we're gonna do right here at S&B Sense. So the Clarity Mastermind Starter Kit is great for this. It helps you protect your health, especially your mental health. Make decisions rationally, strengthen your focus, right? Because don't forget, you have to understand how to what? Be sustainable. And in order for you to do that, you got to focus. You got to focus. You got to. And if you want to build with intention instead of being tired all the time or all over the place or being a hustler, because there's a difference between a hustler and an entrepreneur. That's why I say, I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know. Now, look at the ones who say they hustlers and the ones who say they're entrepreneurs. There's a difference. There's a difference on how they present themselves, difference on what they do, who they be around, the things that they allow into their mental, the things they watch. There's a difference, guys, for a reason. Okay? So if you want to do that, just start with my Clarity Mastermind my Clarity Mastermind kit. Look, my mouth is dry, y'all. All right. So that way you can build your strength and start with clarity. All right. And the kit, the link to the kit is actually in the description of this video. So you can click on the link to my Clarity Mastermind starter kit. Okay. And it's 147. It's 147. And at the you can always upgrade to the bundle if you would like. All right. I always upgrade to the bundle if you was like. And I do got to get add the 2026 guide in there as well. So right now, get it with the 2025 30-day guide. But the 2026 guide is going to be a year guide. Okay, and that guide is going to be thicker, and then the price is going to go up for the bundle, but not for the Clarity Mastermind Starter Kit. But if you want to add the whole bundle, the price will go up for that eventually, because I have to get the price more on that because I'm adding a year guide for you all because I want to make sure that you're building your clarity. All right. All right. So make sure that you just click on the link in the description of this video, or you can click on the link in my bio and share this with somebody else who could use a little bit more clarity. Because if nobody else loves you, Queen A does. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Later. Mwah.